Just want to give a little heads up before you watch this video that my dog really goes ham on her squeaky toy. So if you're watching this and you have dogs in the room, just giving a full disclaimer that they might perk their ears up a little bit. So just giving you all a heads up. Thank you for watching the video. Love you. Bye.
Okay, we are back with another video. So, hi, my name is Allie, and I like to create videos that are centered around college related, and because I am considered non-traditional, I am older and married and have household responsibilities, so I like to do videos like that and just kind of showing how I juggle my life with the house stuff and college stuff. So today's video is going to be talking about how to get A's in your classes, and specifically centered around, excuse me, gotta fix that. Centered around science courses, because I am a dietetics major. So the classes that I have taken that I want to talk about is like your chemistries, your anatomy and physiologies, your microbiologies, and I just want to give some tips on how I have managed to get A's in them. So if that sounds like something you would want to watch, keep watching. Okay, so just like a few tips that I have found that has really helped me to gain A's in these classes. I think the first thing is understanding that it's going to take more than just going to class. And I used to hate when teachers would say that, like especially when they're like, expect to study like 1,600 hours a week outside of class, and you're like, it's gonna be a no for me, dog. Like, I'm not doing that. But it is true, because I have found in these courses that I have had to spend a lot of time outside of school in my office studying and reading and taking notes and re-listening to lectures, and so yeah, like your teachers aren't wrong. Like, you're gonna have to spend some time outside of class to study to do well. I also think a really big tip that is very much overlooked, also side note, if you see me like looking this way, it's because my notes are right here, so I can kind of stay on track. But I think one that's overlooked is knowing your resources and how to utilize them. So for me, go to your professor's office hours. And I know that sounds so annoying to do, but the good thing is I usually try to do it around like either before or after your lecture, so it's not like you have to go like, 7 a.m. on a Tuesday. But I have found that has really helped for me, because my lectures have been very big, so like between 150 to 200 people. Oh, sorry, that was my dog. 150 to 200 people in a lecture, so just my personality, I don't feel comfortable asking a question in front of that many people, and so a lot of times I ask all my questions during office hours, where I feel more comfortable, where it's just in an office and it's one-on-one, and I feel like I get that attention. And so I luckily had amazing teachers, and yes, go to your office hours, guys. It's seriously the best. I am a huge proponent of that, and then also just like, it's so important when you go to your office hours, you feel like you've got somebody on your side. And I feel like one of the reasons I have succeeded so well so far is because I've had such phenomenal teachers back me up, and feel like I've got somebody in my corner, and that if I'm like really confused on something, I can go to them and be completely transparent and say, hey, I'm not like getting this. So that I think is huge. Let's see, another one is learning how to study, and this is something that it's a continuously, is that even a word? Continuously? It's a continual, there we go. It's a continual learning curve for me, like knowing how to study. And so for me, going to office hours, going home and studying my notes, I think there is so much to be said for actually writing your notes, not typing, not just showing it to lecture and hoping that it's gonna like resonate, because again, going back to my anatomy professor, you'd have your PowerPoint slides, but you could not study from that. Like, you had to write notes in what the professor was teaching for each slide. You couldn't just take the PowerPoint. So that was a huge thing. So just learning how to study, and I think I said this in the beginning, but it's going to take more than just going to class. And you going to see that you have succeeded. And another thing that I have really found with my anatomy success is learning in the book, and like having the book and studying in the back of each chapter. They always have concept checks. Man, that was like so mind-blowingly like amazing to have. And so if I didn't understand something that I had written, if I didn't understand something he said, I would go to the book and say, you know, and read up on things. Because one thing for me in anatomy and physiology, to know physiological parts of the body, sometimes I need to know definitions. Like if I'm learning about like for instance, like the brain, I understand if we're talking about parasympathetic and sympathetic and what it does, but I'm like, okay, but like why does the medulla oblongata like come into play? I mean, that's just like an example, but like I needed to know like, okay, what is the medulla oblongata? And so I would go home and read in the book, and I'm like, oh, okay, great, like that's, you know, part of the brain, you know, whatever. So it's kind of just like putting those pieces together. But you definitely have to be self-motivated, and I think people don't think about that a lot. If you want to do well, it's your responsibility to do what that takes. And so the third tip I have, I don't even know if I'm on the third tip. Who knows? I feel like I'm just talking. The third tip I had was knowing your strengths and weaknesses, and I think also knowing what kind of learner you are. You know, you've got your visual learners, your auditory learners, your kinesthetic learners, and for me personally, I am 100% a kinesthetic learner. I find myself retaining things better when I'm doing a task, and so that's why I like to talk out loud when I study. I like to write. I think like talking about like having an anatomy lab, I would write over and over and over the body parts and the bones and the veins and the arteries, and I mean hours. I mean just like, I've got notebooks of just the same words over and over again. And that was like huge for me to like to retain the information. And so yeah, just knowing like what kind of learner you are, and just kind of knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are. I know for me personally, like it requires more work for me to do well, and I'm not inherently smart, and that's not me trying to fish for compliments. That's just me being completely honest. I'm not very smart, but what has led me to have all A's is because I don't give up. I'm relentless. I do what it takes to get the A. And so if that meant, you know, spending hours on a Friday night or Saturday night, rereading my notes, rewatching lectures, that's what I did. And again, it kind of goes back to that self-motivating piece. Nobody was going to do it for me. Nobody was going to get the A for me. It was all my responsibility. So I think just kind of really realizing that if you want this, what is it going to take? So yes, a quick recap. Utilizing resources, please go to the professor's office hours. That is a game changer. Sitting in the front of the class, I think is huge. Getting off your phone, I think is a huge thing for me. In these lecture halls, I don't even take my laptop. I take a good old notebook and pen, because it's too much temptation for me to have my electronics, because I'm just gonna like wanna, you know, get on the internet and look up things. So yeah, there's a lot to be said with having pen and paper. And I think it goes back to that learning, like the way I like to learn is I just retain it better when I'm handwriting it. And then just knowing how to time manage. Again, you're in college, you're an adult, it's your responsibility to figure out how you're gonna get this stuff done. And yeah, just knowing that, you know, there's gonna be an end to this. For me, I've got 2 more years, and just look at this as a good practice run for when you're in the real world. So, oh my gosh. Okay, I changed positions because for one, the glaring on my glasses, I'm really sorry about that you have to endure that for like the first 10 minutes. And then I'm also just hanging with my bubba. You see me, bubba. But I'll end on
Oh my gosh. I will end this video on my last 2 points, that when it comes to science and your science courses, repetition is key. And I feel like people want to like hear like the secret tip that's just gonna like be really easy and get A's, but repetition is key, and just the constant studying and reading up on the systems of the body, and especially in anatomy lab. Like I remember I had a girl ask me, she's like, how are you doing so well in this lab? And I didn't really have anything else. I mean, it wasn't like this like magic defining like tip. It was just like every night, because every week, every Thursday we had a quiz. So I would start on Sunday to Wednesday, constant. I mean, I would probably set aside 2 to 3 hours a night just studying, and that's what I had to do to retain the anatomy portion of the class, just because I had a really hard time with it. So, and just because you have a hard time with it, I feel like it doesn't give you an excuse to just not do well or not try. Like I said before, I'm not like this super smart person. I just know what I have to do to get, the grades that I want, and it requires a lot of work. And the last one, I don't know if it's a tip so much, but listen, if your teacher offers extra credit, do the extra credit. I cannot even begin to tell you how many times in my college career, that extra credit has made the difference between a letter grade, and I'm not exaggerating. So I do extra credit every time, and it's awesome because, for one, I'm learning it better. It's giving me another opportunity to understand things, and secondly, it's extra points to your grade. And I'm serious, it makes the difference, and I know people don't want to do it, so do the extra credit. That's what I have to say to end this. So I hope you all really enjoyed the video on how to get A's in your classes, how to have a successful college career, and I hope I helped, at least just one person. So if you all really enjoyed it, like the video, subscribe to me. I like to make college related videos, especially through the lens of somebody who is older and has, other things to worry about, but still managing to get their stuff done. So thank you all so much for watching the video, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.